Namaste, welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of TT Talks. My name is Suhas.
My name is Kritika.
My name is Vinay.
And we have a special guest.
My name is Sanjana.
And yeah, so what language do you speak, Sanjana?
I speak Tamil.
Like full Tamil at home and like just full Tamil or like Tamil and English?
A mix of Tamil and English at home.
Mm-hmm. Good girl.
Cool. So, I can edit that out. That's fine.
So, we're doing this podcast at school. So, what % of students do you think speak Telugu or Tamil?
Not sure. Maybe like 20 to 25%.
Can you talk a little bit louder?
Yeah.
Okay. So 20 to 25% of everyone or just Indians?
Just Indians, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think is like the other major language?
Hindi.
Hindi? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, how do you think Tamil culture is represented at our school?
I don't think it's very well represented at school, really. I think it's just mostly like North Indian culture. You know what I mean? Like Hindi and all of that. I feel that is more glorified at school than South Indian culture.
What about like in your community, like at home or like in your neighborhood?
It's more Telugu than Tamil in my neighborhood, and again, more North Indian influence.
Mm-hmm.
There's not as much South Indian.
Is there any like South Asian club at our school that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of.
Actually, isn't there a new club called the
Asian American.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I
part
think
of
that's
that.
more oriented towards East Asians.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like Japan and...
So, if there were to be like a South Asian club at our school, would you join that?
I mean, I'd probably be a member of it. Nothing too big.
Yeah.
But like what would...
Yeah, what would they do
Yeah,
in it?
exactly.
Yeah. True.
Sure.
I mean, they could always... I think... Wait, can I just say Uzma? Uzma, for MSA, do you guys do anything? Like...
We have meetings and then we basically talk about like certain topics, how our culture varies, how we celebrate certain like holidays at home. Like during Ramadan, we talked about what we were doing to prepare for all that. Yeah.
So yeah, if it was something South Asian, I guess... What are the major South Asian holidays or things, cultural events?
Diwali. I think Diwali's
That's-
not really South
yeah,
Asian.
Diwali.
It's like
That's not
Korean.
South...
Diwali's
Ugadi?
Ugadi.
What's the thing for Tamil Nadu? They have
Pongal.
some...
We celebrate
Pongal?
Pongal.
Yeah, Pongal. And then I think like
It's like
religious holidays like Ganesh Chaturthi.
There's like
Ganesh
Double New
Chaturthi.
Year and
isn't
stuff like
Dasra
that.
one of them?
Dasara, yeah.
That's,
And like
But Dasara is whole India too. It's just a different name.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a possibility. But again, like you said, there's not much of a population that's South Asian,
Yeah.
so we're not catering towards anyone, if that makes sense. So, how is culture represented in your household?
My household, I mean, we eat Indian food and we occasionally go to the temple, but my household is like half Christian, half Hindu.
Mm-hmm.
So we mostly go to church, but when we go to India, we visit temples and honor stuff like that as well.
So do you go to like a specific church for Indian communities or like a general church?
It's a general church, but there are like other Indians there
Mhm.
as well.
So what's your opinion on like branches of the church but oriented towards Desis and like certain populations?
What
Like
do you mean?
I know there's not Desi like Indian churches
Yeah.
and there's also like other Asian churches. So like what's your opinion on that?
Like, do you think there should, I guess, be like
A-
a church for Indians?
Do you think like
Is
there
that
should be
what you're saying?
segregations of the church or no?
No, I don't think so. I think a good mix is there because I feel that if there was like a full-on Desi church, it'd be pretty judgmental and like closed-minded stereotypes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Christians are already like pretty judgmental toward other people, from what I hear, and like the LGBTQ and stuff like that would be like there's no room to voice your own opinion. I feel.
Okay. And do you feel comfortable talking with your friends about culture?
Yeah. I
So like you talk with them in Tamil or
do. Just in English, it's like
are you close enough to talk in Tamil?
with my Tamil friends. I mean, yeah, we want, but we usually speak in English.
So do you have any siblings that you talk with? Like
Like
you
Tamil,
talk Tamil
Tamil.
or like any
I
other
mean,
language?
when we
Apart.
like talk to our grandparents and stuff, we talk in Tamil. But she was mostly raised here, so she doesn't speak as much Tamil. Or she understands it, but she doesn't speak it.
So, oh,
Do you guys watch like Tamil movies?
Yeah, we watch Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, like with captions. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
so do you think there's a difference, like, of how much Tamil you were raised with, like, like how much Tamil your parents included, like, with you compared to your sister?
yeah, because I was born in India and I visited India more than she did, while she was born and mostly raised here. We've only visited like twice since she was born, and she was only a baby. So she does have a hard time like comprehending the things we say sometimes. Like, I can speak more of it. She's like, I don't know, like she's not as good as understanding.
Do your parents like want her to learn Tamil or?
Yeah, they do want her to, but she's not like super willing to learn it. She speaks it, but it's kind of like a mix.
Yeah.
So your parents used to teach you when you're little, like Tamil?
I mean, I just kind of grew up like hearing them, and I just kind of. They never really directly taught me.
Okay. So no, like, Telugu class. No, not Telugu, Tamil class.
No, my dad never really forced me into anything like that.
So,
Do you
oh.
do you think or like do you wish you like learned more Telugu or Tamil when you were like little?
Yeah, I wish they taught me how to write it. You know, because
Yeah.
my parents can write it. I wish they taught me how to like write and actually read the Tamil language. Because I'm only good at speaking it. I can't read
Yeah,
or write
same,
it.
same.
And stuff.
So, what do you think about, like, private... I don't think there's many in Georgia, but there's certain, like, not segregations, but, like, certain schools that are specifically for Tamil students.
Yeah.
Or, like, yeah, so do you want to go to those, or would you rather go to a public school with a mix of cultures?
Honestly, I'd rather go to a public school with a mix of cultures. Because my sister went to Tamil school. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. I just don't like the vibe of the school. It's just really, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not like a public school. It just feels very strict and
Strict?
like no.
But that's a culture thing.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
definitely.
So, do you think that more Tamil or South Asian teachers should be hired at South?
Or just Indian teachers in general?
Yeah.
I don't really see many Indian teachers in general, so I would think that, yeah, there should be like an
There
increase
should
of
be
them.
more. So, what subjects would they teach?
Probably math or computer science. I'm gonna be honest.
So what do you think is like the difference between like Indian teachers and like American teachers?
Yeah, what do you think there's
like
a
their
difference?
style of teaching?
Yeah.
I feel like most Indian teachers are like educated in India, right? So they'd still carry that style of teaching over here, or like they're still adapting to this culture nowadays. Like even my parents are still adapting nowadays to the change. So American teachers are more like, you know, I guess they just have to be more Western in their style of teaching, and they do expect more from students. Like the Indian teachers, they have like harsher standards, while the American teachers are more like lenient, and I don't really.
But again, that's based on their own experience.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. So,
Another question, what's your like favorite part about like being Tamil, or like the favorite part about your culture?
Culture. I mean, I guess the holidays we celebrate, you know, I really like spending time with like family, dressing up, learning more about it too, because I was raised Catholic, so I learned more from my dad's side about being Hindu and Tamil and everything. So I really like that experience.
and this is a little bit of a sensitive topic, but have you ever experienced, like, racism in any kind?
I mean, yeah, like when we initially moved here, my parents weren't like obviously very fluent in English and stuff. So obviously there was like a language barrier, and you could see people judge them for that. And even nowadays, like sometimes, like you know how like Indian, like they have different style of English and like
Accent.
and their accent and stuff like that. I can still see it like in their workplace meetings and stuff. It's not very obvious, but if you like notice, you can see people judge you for it.
Like, you can't really completely acculturate to a culture.
Not really.
So what do you think about the competition here, like at South?
The school competition.
Yeah, like
Like
Indians.
the competitive.
Yeah,
Competitiveness.
competitiveness.
I honestly think there's like no need for it. I think people should just do what they want and not be influenced by other people.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, my parents have been pretty influenced by that, and in my community, it's all Indian, so everyone's constantly like trying to outdo.
Compare themselves.
Yeah, and I feel that like brings down people's like self-esteem and their
Yeah.
mental health. It's like that's not even a focus on in
Yeah,
our community.
exactly.
Like, I don't know how to bring that up with anyone,
Yeah.
any like adult. at least.
Yeah. And do you think I don't know, of course, what you're gonna do in the future, but are you gonna take your parents' like consideration of being a doctor and engineer, or are you gonna pursue what you want to do?
I mean, I currently want to be a doctor. They are more interested in me going towards IT. They don't want me being like
Is there a reason?
doctor or anything. Huh?
Is there a reason?
They just don't want me like spending the rest of my life studying, and they just don't want it to be super hard for me. So but they're pretty lenient in letting me do what I want as long as I have a successful career, and yeah.
So like music or art, they're fine with that?
I'm not sure about that because like they're really concerned about their self-image too.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like if I
reputation,
become
yeah.
something like that, they don't want to look bad for themselves. I think that's the only problem they have, because they don't really take into consideration like, are you happy? They really take into consideration, oh, what are other people gonna think of us? So you do this to please other people so that we look good. Like that's what they think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I agree with that statement.
And what do you think about AP classes and like how many like hard classes people are taking, especially like senior year?
I guess it's up to you, honestly, but
'Cause I know some parents in my neighborhood, like their parents are forcing them to take 4 AP classes, a minimum.
I honestly don't think that's good towards their mental health, or like, I don't know. I guess it just restricts their freedom a lot, their
Uh-huh.
independence.
Yeah. And Indian parents, they expect your kids to do everything. Like, do
Yeah.
sports, do a musical instrument, like, do hard classes, and then be president of 5 clubs, and then...
Yeah, I also feel that Indian parents have kind of like this emotional gap between them and their kids.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you have to do everything, and like, even when I go home, most of the questions aren't like, how are you, like, are you feeling good today? It's like,
How was school?
yeah, how was school?
How was school?
Did you do this? What grade did you get? Like, most of that time, it's kind of hard because they're like working, and kind of like there's no way to make a connection between them other than grades and stuff. Again, they're just using their own experiences to try to connect with us.
Mhm.
But it's like changing now, and I don't think they realize that.
So are your parents like strict about your grades? Like if you get like a bad grade, do they like yell at you?
I mean, yeah, they're not super duper strict about it. Like A's and B's slide with them. They're not like all A's are perfect.
Oh, okay.
But they don't expect that. But my sister, she had like C's last year, and they're letting it slide. Like she's in middle school, right? And they're letting it slide, and I don't know. I think they're just becoming less strict for her. Like she's still a kid, but it was different for how I was. So I guess they're changing.
And, do you go to, like, family parties often?
Like family get-together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that some people told me that they have to maintain a persona when they're talking with, like, other adults and
I
stuff.
mean, yeah. My parents say don't reveal too much information because then they're gonna go tell their kids, and their kids are gonna outdo you. Or like, don't wear this, they'll judge us for letting you wear this, or something like that.
So again, like, prestige thing.
I mean, yeah, it's more like a don't shame our family, or like
Yeah.
a don't make our family name look bad kind of thing.
Don't dishonor us.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the education in India? Or are you aware of, like, government schools versus private schools?
I'm not aware of too much there.
Mhm.
And one thing, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, is there any, like, association in Atlanta for Tamil? Because I know there's, for Telugu, it's Tama.
Yeah.
For Tamil, is there anything?
Or like a game.
I only know like a Tamil school. Like,
Not a
Tamil
school.
school?
that's
not a
all
school.
I know. I'll have to
Okay.
ask my dad. He's more
Yeah, like an
involved in stuff like that
organization,
than I am.
basically. That's what I meant.
What were you gonna ask?
Yes.
I forgot.
So do you
I'll
attend
look.
like a bunch of like cultural events for
Yeah,
like, Tamil? Or like Indian, like Garba or
Cultural
something like
events?
that?
Yeah, I go to Garba.
Yeah.
We do like Ganesha Chaturthi and stuff like that in our community itself, but that's mostly like my dad's thing. Like if my dad takes us, we will go. But most of my life, I've been like raised in the church. Like I'm baptized and everything. And I mean, that does cause like a rift between my family. So
Okay.
I don't know.
And what do you think about like white Americans? Like, I know in movies they have like they dress up as like as Indians,
Yeah.
like in clothes. Do you think that's cultural appropriation or if that's fine?
I mean, if they're like not mocking it, then I think it's fine. If like they're genuinely like appreciating the culture, I think it's okay. But if they're like doing it to make fun of us or something, I don't think it's right.
What do you think of like brown representation in like television movies here?
Oh, here, like Western. I know they're trying to like break the stereotypes, but I think by trying to break the stereotypes, they're making new stereotypes and are worsening the ones that already exist.
Yeah, like every movie or like TV show, there's always at least one Indian person. It
feels like they have a brown character just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And, like
Just
never
for-
have
just for
I ever,
diversity.
you know? Like
No, that's like different though.
no, that's a little different, but like also I feel like the culture in there is really forced.
yeah, it doesn't seem realistic like at
Yeah,
all.
like
Yeah,
I
like,
don't think,
like
like-
Quantico. I don't think
Oh,
Priyanka
yeah.
Chopra did anything in that serial.
It was like
oh
her, like,
yeah, I was
breakthrough
watching
role,
some
like-
movie with some kids movie with Priyanka Chopra. She just came
Oh, yeah,
in so
Oh, the Spy Kids one.
Yeah, it's like a kid. Yeah,
I
saw
don't-
Spy
it.
Kids one?
No, it's
like
it's
kind of like Spy
Heroes, something
Kids.
Heroes.
Some superhero movie or
Something.
something. It's
I
so
need to know
weird.
now.
Again, yeah, that's
But she barely had a role in it. Like she was like
She was just
evil.
forced. to
Yeah,
be there.
I don't
Just-
even get
Yeah, just
it.
for the sake of being there, she was there.
And isn't there an
Oh,
Indian
yeah.
wrestler in the WWE?
Oh yeah, the Great Khali.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We can be heroes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I realized learned that yesterday.
No, but you remember like Priyanka Chopra's like Fair and Lovely scandal and stuff like that?
Yeah,
don't-
that's
Oh
like
my
every
God.
single
thing. My
hero,
mom
yeah.
doesn't like her at all.
Wait,
Yeah, my mom.
wait, did you say
doesn't like her
scandal?
either. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, because they were like, oh, so you're trying to like
Be more
whitewash
whiter,
it.
I don't know.
fairer skin.
I just remember what's it called? There was a picture of her smoking
Oh
on
my
a
God.
on a thing, and people made a huge deal out of that.
Again, it's
Why?
like
'Cause she's a
the
woman?
Indian community too. No, they still have some old stereotypes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Wait,
they're
what's with the smoking thing?
There,
what is
because
it?
she was smoking on like a boat or something, and then people saw her, and then they were like, "How are you smoking? Why are you smoking?"
Because
I
she's a
mean-
woman, or that because she's Indian?
I think
I
that.
think both.
I think yeah, it's because she has like a high influence on like so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That maybe they don't
Well,
want.
I also think it's double
Yeah.
standards.
no, there are a lot of double standards in like the Indian community. That's true.
And what do you think about like Indian? I know Saho, they have an English dub version. So, do you think though like Telugu movies should just stay in not Telugu, like South Asian movies should stay in South Asian languages, or if they should be dubbed in English?
I think the dub kind of ruins the true meaning of the movie, so people can just use captions and watch it. I'd say.
Well,
I don't know.
I think like it makes sense for like Americans wanting to watch it.
I
in
get the
dubbed,
dub,
but like
but,
I don't
like-
think Indians should be watching Indian movies in English.
Yeah,
You know?
because I
Yeah.
also feel like some of the original movies like stripped away
Yeah.
from it, like the authenticity of it. But I've watched dubbed movies, like Telugu movies dubbed,
Yeah, I've
Tamil,
watched
or like
Tamil
Hindi
dub
dubbed.
movies, Malayalam dub movies.
Yeah, but most of the time we watch it with.
I prefer to watch it with subtitles, but
We
like
watch it
my
with
parents
subtitles.
don't.
Oh, really?
Oh
So-
yeah, my mom speaks like Marathi, Hindi, Telugu, Tamil. My mom speaks a bunch of languages, so she understands it. It's just
And how's it? Oh, I think this was the question I forgot. How's it like being like part Christian and part Hindu
I
in
guess
terms of like culturally?
culturally kind of like I have
Do
a
people,
friend
like,
that's like
treat you
Christian.
differently?
I mean, kind of they like expect me to know everything about being Hindu, and I'm just like, I'm not that involved in being Hindu. And they're like, also like my name, right? You know, it's like Indian. They're like, why don't you have like a white person name or something?
What?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I've
they
had
do.
people
Oh,
ask
oh,
me.
like-
They're like, why isn't
yeah.
your name like something
Mary.
American?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's because my like dad's side of family chose my name. But yeah, my mom did have like an American name picked out and everything, but I just don't think it would have like fit. Because my uncle, he has a name, right? His name's like Alwyn. But every time they call his name in a meeting, they expect a white person, and my uncle didn't really like that. So he gave his kids like an Indian name because he didn't want them to be like stereotyped or like just kind of feel out of place.
Yeah.
And did you? I don't. This was a couple years ago, but there was this South Asian pitcher on Shark Tank, and there was like some kind of controversy about his pitch. Like, you know Shark Tank, right?
Yeah, I know what Shark Tank.
So like he had some like South Asian pitch or something, and then the sharks were like apparently like
Racist?
a little bit racist towards it.
Oh my god.
There was like a small controversy
I
about
didn't
it.
know about this.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't know about it.
So we're like saying like bad stuff about them.
More like they weren't taking it seriously.
No.
Wow.
Like compared to some pitches where they ask every detail.
Yeah.
They were just
They
like,
weren't even like that interested.
Yeah.
They would like they stereotype that like Indians can't invent stuff
or
probably.
start businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about like famous Indian businessmen like Sal Khan or Sundar Pichai? Yeah. How do you
Google, right?
Google?
I feel like they've done really good. They're successful in what they've done. They've also broke many stereotypes. And I mean, like, there's a lot of, like, if you think about businessmen back in India, like, there's so much corruption and stuff that goes on there. And my parents are really, they don't like it. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, gonna ask a question.
So do you watch like a lot of like Tamil movies at home? Or, like, with
We
your-
asked that question.
Yeah.
We asked that
We
question
do.
already.
Okay, so how would you raise your kids differently than your parents right
Then my
now?
parents, I mean, my parents are really, like, stuck in the way that they were raised, like, the conservative mindset. So I think I'd let my kids be more open and voice their own opinions and be more open to the mental health stuff like that. Because I
Oh, yeah,
definitely
for
can
sure.
bring that up with my parents or
Oh, yeah,
anything.
same.
Like, what do you mean mental health?
Like anxiety or depression or ADHD or something, they'll just be like, just focus or just eat and it'll go away, or like just stop thinking like that, because they don't really get that it's something that you
Important.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think that was it, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty good.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
thank you for joining today.
You're welcome.
How do you like being here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice.
So yeah, do you have any closing remarks?
Not really.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to
Yeah,
this.
thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more episodes.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Vinay says bye.
Bye.
Bye.